Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sin. Be sure to follow us over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. If you're enjoying the reviews, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. Man, it's felt like forever, but I'm up to episode 11 and I really missed this show. She-Ra came in and I had, that takes priority because it just boggles my mind, that show. But I'm so glad to get back to a show that makes me laugh. I smile. There hasn't been an episode yet, I'm 11 episodes in, that didn't at least make me laugh out loud because the gags and the jokes are just hilarious. Even though the stories are rudimentary, they're cliche, but are they even cliche anymore? Because we don't even get stories like this in cartoons anymore. It's all, social justice and craziness and just a funny show just doesn't really exist anymore. But in Amphibia, we get that. And this is episode 11, Sprig versus Hop Pop. And even just from the title, I think, it's going to be that classic, old man's ways, and I want to do things my way, and they kind of butt heads, and then they come together at the end. We open up, and they're doing chores, which is nice to see that the kids are doing things that help the farm, because this is their livelihood, this is how they eat, this is how they live. They're picking weeds, and they're all tired, and they're asking him, but Hop Pop's not doing anything, but he's old. He couldn't really do, like, the physical labor type stuff, but he's just kind of relaxing, and Sprig has the idea of, hey, why don't we train the bullworms, like the little cow worms they have, to eat the weeds. And Hop Pop's all suggestions go in the suggestion barrel. This whole setup is just so funny. He's writing it down, and then they're like, I don't think he even reads these things. And he's like, oh no, he wouldn't do that to us. Polly's like, yeah, I asked for a pool like 3 weeks ago, and then nothing came of it. He's like, no, he's gonna read our suggestions. He loves us and cares about us. He puts not the letter, but the suggestion in the barrel, and it gets knocked over, and it's just a fire pit. So all their suggestions were literally just getting burned instantly, and Hop Pop didn't even look at them.
Huh? A fire pit? That's the opposite of a swimming pool.
Why, Hop Pop? Why?
How could you not know there was you couldn't feel the fire through the barrel? It's just hilarious that Sprig had all this faith, and then it just gets dashed away in like 1 second. Then they have like a big argument about it. You don't ever read my suggestions. How could you lie to us? And then Hop Up kind of has a good idea not a good idea, but his point is, he's like, you're a kid and you have a lot of dumb ideas and I don't want to waste my time, basically. Super mean. He should at least listen to, I'm assuming, his grandson. Did they ever say that it's his grandpa or his father? I'm assuming it's his grandpa. But they do like this ceremonial challenge. I challenge you for ownership of the farm. So you have to like run up to this thing and like ring this bell. And it's like it's not even a frog law. It's like a family thing. Polly's like, yeah, he rang the bell. Do you accept the challenge? And then they both kind of have to agree to it. And Anne, like, we're the viewer and we're seeing through Anne's eyes. And she's like, well, this is all going to make sense in a couple of minutes. And then she sees the setup and she's like, no, it's not going to make any more damn sense. They're doing like this. They're both like in their little sumo garb, and it's going to be like a mud wrestle on a lily pad. One person has to knock the other person off the lily pad, and that's how you win. And whatever you are arguing about, you are the winner. So if Sprig wins, he gets control of the farm, and then Hop Pop is going to, just not be the one calling all the shots. They start fighting, and before they start fighting, they're like, yeah, I guess they do this like, I don't know, a lot, but they do it enough for it to be where they're like, oh, has Sprig ever won? He's like, I've won in spirit.
Has Sprig ever won?
I've won in spirit.
So no.
Enough chit chat.
Just that smile on his face. No, that just means you lost. There's no winning in spirit. So the match starts and they start their little like kind of sumo match and they're slapping each other and pushing each other around. Actually, it was kind of fun. They're actually like fighting. They're actually like not trying to hurt each other, but it's a wrestling match. You gotta try to knock each other out. Sprig gets thrown down on the ground and Hop Pop is like, haha, I got the experience and the upper body strength because he's stronger than I'm assuming Sprig is like, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 years old. And even though Hop Pop's old, he's an adult. He's going to push him off the edge, but then Sprig flips him over and kicks him off into the mud and he loses. And everyone's like, oh crap, Sprig actually won. And that means he owns the farm. He gets to make every decision. Hop Pop like crawls away in defeat. Oh, my time's over. You're not dead. He could have came back home, but he plays it up like way super dramatic. They get home, and of course Sprig's the one doing he's so happy he gets to make all the decisions. And his whole thing is, there's no bad suggestions. You can come to me. I'm gonna listen, and we're gonna basically just agree to do everything. And of course, in every cartoon ever made, it's going to fall apart. It's going to be super fun at first, but then you realize, oh crap, there's responsibilities. There's things I don't know about the farm. And if I actually want it to actually be a real farm and be productive, I have to know what I'm doing. It can't just be super fun time all the time. But we get like this little mini montage of all the decisions he's making, the farm that listens. And every idea they come up with, oh, we want a dance party, we want a pool, and they just start doing everything. They use instead of watering by hand, they're gonna use like the big mushroom pad to do it, and they're gonna fill the watering hole, so they're gonna have their own pool. They're gonna have a big pool. They have a big old party coming soon. They end up like kind of destroying the wall, and they just don't even care. They try to teach the little worms, they're not little, the big cow worms, how to eat the weeds, but they're animals. They're gonna just eat everything. They're not gonna just eat weeds. They're gonna eat the actual produce. And I guess Anne wanted a clown, and then we get like this creepy ass clown. I mean, look at this thing. It's ridiculous. Sprig and Anne are like enjoying his little show, and like me and Polly here just like freaks out, starts beating him up. And these quick little jokes, the writing in the shows, it's so tight and it's hilarious. He's like, hold on, we paid him to do this. He can't just beat him up.
Hey,
Whoa, Polly! Whoa, we paid him for this!
You get to the next scene where there's the dance party they're having, and the clown has a black eye, but he's doing the dance song with them, like he's there at the party, like he didn't leave afterwards. But then they want to build like a big water slide, and they start doing all this stuff like that, and they realize, wait a second, all we're doing is having fun. Everything's like super fun time, and they actually don't know what they're actually doing. And they're like, oh, where's Hop Pop at? We haven't seen him all day. This makes it look like this went on for a while, but I guess it was only like half a day. It cuts to like a skull that looks like Hop Pop's, and he like crawled his way to the cemetery, and he's still wearing his sumo get up. He finds a little bug, and like he basically went there to die. And he kind of makes friends with this beetle thing. If I saw a beetle that was really this big, I don't like bugs like that, like giant size. That's just creepy. We get back to Happy Fun Farms, and they're just kind of just goofing off and swimming and everything. And then Anne's like, whoa, I'm kind of hungry. Let's get something to eat. Like, oh yeah, let's make dinner. But Hop Pop made all the meals. Hop Pop's the one who got all the food and went shopping and everything. So all they have is like those, like, I don't know if they're rutabagas or turnips or whatever, but that's all they have left. But there was like this scary ass worm mantis thingy that was in the produce.
Dig in, everyone!
It's chasing them all around. This thing is creepy as hell. They kind of capture it under a bucket, like, oh yeah. Hop Pop's the one who would, weed out all the bugs and everything. And again, it ends up getting out of the bucket, but we only hear, we don't get to see it. And he's all screaming, oh my God, don't let it touch me. Ah!
Don't let it touch me! Don't let it touch me!
Big bugs are creepy as hell. Oh, geez, I don't like it. Sprig's, of course, sleeping in the master bedroom and everything, and it's the next morning. And anyone who's actually had like a pool during the summer, it attracts mosquitoes. There's maintenance, but there's these gigantic mosquitoes like laying all these like eggs in the freaking water. Ugh, nasty. But everything's falling apart. Things are catching on fire, and they're just like, oh, we gotta get Hop Pop. But Sprig doesn't want to admit that he's wrong or he needs help. So he's like, oh, I'm going to call a family meeting where we're going to take all suggestions, and every suggestion is a good suggestion. And then they suggested we need Hop Pop back. He's like, no, you don't need him. I can't go back to living that life where no one listens to you and he just ignores us. And he's like, don't you like this way better? And then even Anne's like, you're not listening to us now. And I like the fact he's like, oh, we're going to take a break. And if we're going to come back with the right suggestions. See, he's starting going against his own philosophy of all suggestions. It has to be the suggestions that I agree with. And those are the ones that we're going to use. So he just basically became Hop Pop, but like the idiot version who's going to end up ruining the farm. So during the 15-minute break, Anne and Polly said, screw this. We're going to go get Hop Pop. Somehow they knew he was at this cemetery. I don't know how they figured it out. But they meet him and like, you need to come back. He's ruining the farm. And Hop Pop's like, no, I'm going to stay here with my new family. It's like all these freaking bugs. And he's like, no, it's his farm now. I'm not going to deal with this. I've learned tranquility and peace. And then they tell him, he's sleeping in your bed. Huh? Like that was the thing that broke him, is the fact that he was sleeping in his bed.
Equality. Listening.
Sprig sleeps in your bed now.
Hey, what?
We get back to the farm, and it's supposed to be time for the meeting, and no one's there. And of course, Sprig's all pissed off. Hop Pop like lands in like a superhero. He just like slams into the ground.
I have have returned.
And they have one more challenge. He's like, I'm going to challenge you for the farm again. So they're going to have another. And the music, this is the funniest part of the episode. I want to play the clip. The music is so good. It's like Agni Kai, Avatar Last Airbender, but super silly. Like, it's all ceremonial. The music is very, I want to say it's very Asian. It's very, like, they're going to have this epic battle. Sprig's there and he takes off his robe and everything is all ceremonial. They get all greased up with their, mud and everything to get ready for the battle. They run at each other. This is a better fight than what was like 90% when it was in She-Ra. This is more dynamic. The music's awesome. I just love this whole scene. They're hitting each other, they're beating each other up, but then they come to, a consensus about, he's like, I'm sorry I didn't listen to your ideas. A lot of the times you do have dumb ideas, but it was wrong for me just to dismiss everything you had to say. Then even Sprig's like, yeah, I know my ideas were kind of dumb, but I wish you would listen to me, listen to all of us because we're a family. And they kind of have that heart to heart and everything. And Hop Pop's like, I promise you, when I get control of the farm, I will listen to you. I will at least read your suggestions and give them the benefit of the doubt that you're trying to help. And I love this whole part because he's like, you promised? Like, yes, I promise. And then he's like, lets himself go. Like, he's like, it's like a sacrifice that he's throwing himself into like a fire pit or something, or like he's going to get killed. The music's all super dramatic and slow-mo, but it's like a 2-inch fall. He just falls into the mud. And that's the end of the fight. Like, this huge buildup for like the tiny payoff. I love the comedy in this show. It's so funny. But we get to the next day, and of course they're working, they're doing their chores. They're like, man, I wish we had some shade. And then Hop Pop's, he moves like one of the big mushrooms over. Okay, here's some shade. That's actually a good idea. Then he left like a little watering hole for Polly to play in. It's not like a massive pool, but it's something. And the suggestion barrel, it's an actual real barrel. It's not a fire pit anymore. And of course that makes Sprig super happy because like, okay, you're listening to us. And then he gets he's getting all the suggestions, and the ones that are stupid he just throws in the fire, and the ones like, oh, this is a pretty decent one, I'm going to keep this one. So he kept his word. They're a better family for it, and we had a lot of laughs along the way. What a fun episode. We got to learn some lessons, classic cartoon lessons that been in a million ever since the 80s, these type of family moral values about listening to your kids, listening to your parents. I like this stuff. It's funny, it's dynamic, it has great timing and comedy. This is not the most groundbreaking episode, but I've yet to not have fun. I always have fun with an episode of Amphibia. And episode 11, just as fun. Not the funniest episode, but that last little battle really did it. But I'm going to kick these reviews into high gear. This one's going to go up probably in the morning or afternoon. And then the next one should be at that same night because I miss this show a lot. I even have a playlist set up just for Amphibia reviews. So if you just click on that, it starts with the oldest episode straight down to the newest. But moving on to episode 11. Or episode 12, actually. But make sure to sub, like, share, hit that bell for notifications, join the Discord server. A lot of cool discussion over there. And stay tuned for the next episode. Crimson Saint here. Thanks for watching the video. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single upload. If you have any tips or story ideas, hit us up on Twitter at C15Podcast, or better yet, join our Discord server, link in the description below.